So the first step is choosing a guitar. I'm going to mainly be talking about acoustic guitars. Acoustic guitars are these wooden guitars. The kind that I'm playing is called a steel string guitar. If you look closely, the strings are made of steel. There are also other kinds of guitars like nylon string guitars, which is your classical guitar. They're usually a little bit wider in the neck, and the strings are made of nylon, like plastic. And you can also obviously get electric guitars, but we're not going to go into that today. Maybe that's for another lesson. So the first thing you need to do is you need to decide what your budget is, how much am I going to spend, and then what size guitar am I going to get. So there's a few different sizes of guitars you can get. So if you're an adult, most likely you're going to be buying a full-size guitar like this, my Maton here. So this body shape is called a dreadnought, and this is kind of your standard shape for most acoustic guitars. And this thing here is called a cutaway, and that helps you to better play the notes up here as well. But if you are buying a guitar for a child, or if you have a smaller stature yourself, then you can consider buying a smaller guitar. So I have here a half-size guitar. If you compare the two, so that's kind of the shape. So this one's a lot smaller. I don't know if you can see the difference there. Yeah, how about this way? Here you go. So that's kind of the size difference. So this little mini one, whoops, sorry, it's really out of tune. But this little mini one is really good for kids. This one's just a cheap Chinese guitar that I got overseas. But you can get professional guitars in this size as well. And they cost the same as a full-size guitar because they're made of really good materials. So those are the things you need to consider when you're buying a guitar, is how much you want to spend and how long you want your guitar to last. So if you're spending, just a few $100s, then you can get a guitar like this. This was probably only about $100. But the problem with it is that it's not made of very good materials. It will go out of tune easily, and might need some fixing up. Might not play as nicely. So those are the things you need to consider. Otherwise, I would recommend spending a little bit more money. So maybe around $500, and you can get a pretty nice guitar to start off with. And usually guitars of that quality are fairly well made these days. Otherwise, if you're really committed to learning the guitar and you don't want to have to buy another guitar after a few years, then I would recommend buying a base model of a professional guitar, which is like the one that I have. So this Maton guitar, which they don't make this model anymore, but back when I bought this guitar, this was around $1,500, and it was the base level of a professional guitar. And so I've been playing this guitar for, well, what's the year on this? 2004, since 2004. So it's lasted me a long time, and it's got a professional pickup in it, which means if I plug it in, it sounds fantastic and it's good for recording. So those are the things you can consider in terms of price. And then most important of all is, how does the guitar feel to hold? So if you're going to play an instrument, it kind of has to become part of you. So you want to pick it up and feel what it feels like when it's, either on your shoulder or just holding it in your lap like this. Does it feel comfortable if you put your hands around it? I know you can't play yet, but just holding it, even just holding it, does it feel comfortable? If you feel like you're stretching your arms too much, or you feel like it's hard to grip because the size is not quite right, then maybe you need to consider a different one. So those are just some tips for choosing your guitar, and I'll see you in the next episode.